Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ruxin Sports, where I will be talking about the NFL at the moment. Basketball has not yet started, which is my favorite sport, but I do really enjoy watching football, as everyone else does, basically in the entire world. Maybe not the entire world, but US for sure. So this past week was pretty interesting because we made our picks. If you guys didn't see, I posted my picks of every game, well, every game besides the Thursday and Friday game, because I didn't think about doing it until Saturday. So I posted every pick that I was going to have for the whole week on the post tab. So if you guys didn't see it, we're going to go over them right now. So let me switch over to here. So here's the new games for the week. We're going to make our picks for this week and just have a lot of fun, trying to predict who's going to win. I mean, I already did my season-long predictions, and some of them are looking good. Some of them are looking pretty bad already after the first week. So if you like this sports content, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, because right now this is just a sort of a passion project. I really enjoy sports. I love watching football and basketball and a couple other things as well. So if you want to see other things, let me know other things you might want to see on this channel, whether it be football, basketball, what specifically in football and basketball discussions you want to see, and maybe we can make those happen. So let's go over. I have my spreadsheet ready because I made a whole thing. So as you can see, a little spoiler alert, wins and losses. We went 7-7. Perfect first week, 7 wins, 7 losses. And if you know anything about making picks for like the lines and everything, going just above 500 is good. So we're actually not off to a terrible start. If we went 8-6, that'd be awesome. And honestly, with some of these games, we maybe should have, but that's just how it goes with picks. So let's start off with number one, my team, the Tennessee Titans, which I was really excited to watch the Titans this year because we just drafted Cam Ward number 1 overall. The problem was our team sucks. We won 2 games or whatever last year. So that's why we got the first pick. We were really, really bad. And in this first game, it showed why we were so bad last year. It was absolutely a pathetic performance. Now, you might look at the score and see 20-12. We actually covered the 8.5. We did not deserve to cover. They tried to give us this game. I'm talking about the Broncos the entire time. They had 4 turnovers. We had 1. They also had a turnover on downs at around the 50. It might have been on their side of the field. So basically 5 turnovers. We scored 6 points off of those turnovers, which if you know anything about football, that's awful. You got to score at least 14 points, 17, 20 off of all those turnovers. We did not take advantage of them at all. They muffed a punt on their own 20. We ended up getting sacked twice, which was not Cam Ward's fault, to be honest. And we'll get to Cam Ward in a second. I'm getting called. Okay, no editing. We're just going to keep going. Okay, so, yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, but they muffed a punt. We didn't score. Cam Ward played really well, but no one can catch the ball. Calvin Ridley's making $100 million. He can't catch the ball. Right in his hands, dropping it. Our coach doesn't know to review an elbow. It is inbounds. He doesn't know that because he's one of the worst coaches in the NFL. The offensive line can't block. I thought Cam Ward looked amazing. He had 112 yards or something like that, and that was it. No touchdowns, no turnovers, which was the impressive part in Denver, not having any turnovers. I thought that was really impressive. But he just couldn't do anything. I mean, if your guys can't catch and your team can't block and your coach is calling like 4 verticals and you're getting sacked before they even get down the field, what are you supposed to do? I thought he played pretty well, being poised and not turning the ball over in those situations, throwing it up for grabs. He didn't really do that. He did a good job navigating the pocket when he had the chance to do it. He had a couple of rookie moments where he ran backwards and got sacked. And but for the most part, I thought the throws were pretty good. I'm really encouraged by him. The rest of the team, the organization, the coach, I am really discouraged by. So I think the defense honestly did pretty well. So it was a little sad to watch. Now, we're not going to spend that much time on every game, but that's my team. So the Titans, a little sad to watch, but I am excited about Cam Ward. The problem is we just need to add so many pieces around him. It almost makes no sense to have him on our team because how is he going to be good if we don't have anybody he can work with? But maybe he's just that good that he can make it happen. I think he looked pretty awesome. Next game, the Cardinals Saints. I didn't watch 1 second of this game because I'm not going to watch Spencer Rattler. Like I have 3 TVs and I had the quad box and then 2. So I had 6 games up, but that's not going to make the top 6. So I think the Cardinals didn't look too good either. They only won 17-10. No, I did watch a second of this game. I watched the very last drive when the Saints almost tied it up. I don't like either of these teams, but we did cover by half a point, so that's great. Dolphins, Colts, wow, that was a shocker. Now, I was not surprised that the Dolphins fell apart, but I was more surprised that they fell apart in week 1 against the Colts, 33-8 or whatever, just disgusting. Colts looked way better than expected. Daniel Jones was one of the best fantasy quarterbacks of the week, which is pretty cool. Definitely unexpected. Raiders, Patriots. Raiders did cover. They looked pretty decent. I think the Patriots weren't as good as some people were hoping. Steelers, Jets. This was one of the best games of the day. I didn't get to watch a lot of it because I got home kind of late, and then I ended up only watching the end. But man, Rodgers and versus the Jets. Justin Fields was running stuff in. I have Justin Fields in my dynasty league, so I'm actually super hyped for this year because he looked awesome from a fantasy perspective, which he always does when he's a starter. But he was running stuff in. He was making throws. I'm really excited for dynasty this year with Justin Fields because I had CJ Stroud starting, and it's a super flex. I had CJ Stroud in there, and he scored 8 points. So I'm definitely swapping them out next week. Giants, Commanders. Giants were horrible. Yeah, that's all we need to say. Commanders, I hope, are a little better, but they still dominated. Jaguars, Panthers. I think the Panthers might be one of the worst teams in the league again, so I don't really know what to take from this. Jaguars, I don't really trust. Trevor Lawrence has been pretty bad basically every year, so he looked good this week, so we'll see how that turns out. Browns, Bengals. The Browns, I'm not shocked. I was kind of expecting a Bengals letdown. They always do this in week 1, and the Browns usually play them pretty good at home, so they should have won the game. Missed like a 30-yard field goal. It was crazy. Speaking of missed field goals, let's get to the devastating ones. Oh my, this was absolutely devastating for me because I have my Falcons 12 wins pick. This is a huge game for them in the division. What's his name? Young Hoku or whatever his name is, pushes right a 42-yarder or whatever. And honestly, this game was so frustrating. The drive before that, the Falcons are down. What are they down 4? So they need to score a touchdown. And the referees are just giving them penalties left and right. Roughing the passer. They barely make that 4th down on a review. I think they get another free first down on that. They end up going back. It takes them like 8 plays to finally score from the 2-yard line. Bijan Robinson, they're running these weird like jet sweep routes instead of just running him up the middle, and he's getting tackled for 3-yard losses on the 1-yard line. It was hard to watch. They finally give them a touchdown essentially. And when they finally score, Buccaneers just run right down. Egbuka scores a touchdown, and then Koo comes back and misses the field goal. So that was really hard to watch. I actually love Tampa Bay. I ended up picking the Falcons because their schedule was easier, and now I'm really kicking myself for not just having Tampa Bay winning the division. Tampa Bay, I love Baker. The dude is awesome to watch. He was amazing. So, yeah, Falcons, 12 wins is not looking good, but we'll see. 49ers, Seahawks. I feel like the Seahawks definitely could have won this game. 49ers are banged up now, as usual. McCaffrey's kind of banged up. Brock Purdy's hurt now. Everyone's hurt. Packers, Lions. One of you commenters that was like, no, you're wrong. Lions are going to win. They didn't win. And here's why. A lot of adjustment. You got to gel with that new coordinator. And I don't even think it's just that. I think the Packers are just really good. But Micah Parsons didn't even play the whole game, but he was making impact plays while he was in. The offense looked really good for the Packers. I think they're a force to be reckoned with. I'm not super worried about the Lions yet. I think they're still going to be okay, but they definitely need to figure out like their offense. It looked pretty ugly for most of the game. So that could be contributed to the Packers defense, or maybe just gelling with the offensive coordinator and figuring that out. Because Ben Johnson was supposed to be one of the best offensive coordinators in the league, maybe the best. So we'll get to him in a minute. Texans, Rams. Texans were awful. Yeah, the AFC South is pretty rough. So it was like 14-9 the whole game. So I'm not even sure if the Rams were good or if the Texans just sucked. I think the Rams might have a pretty good defense. Ravens, Bills, the game of the week. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. If you guys missed this game, Ravens give up 17 points the last 4 minutes. Derrick Henry forgot he wasn't on the Titans anymore. He dominated the whole game and then fumbled the game away. They still had a chance after that fumble. It's not like it lost them the game. They had another chance to put the game away and got stopped on 3 and out and had to punt. So I still don't know if they should have punted on 4th and 2. They maybe should have gone for that because Josh Allen kind of was scoring every time. So you give him the ball, all he needs is a field goal. Yeah, I mean, there have been some missed field goals, so I guess you could bank on that. But maybe if I have Lamar Jackson, I maybe just drop back, run around, and scramble for a first down or something. Or let Derrick Henry redeem himself. Bears, Vikings was also a fun game. This one flipped completely in the 4th quarter. Bears looked really good for a minute, and then the Vikings just were like, no, actually, JJ McCarthy doesn't suck. He's actually really good. So, we should have won this game. They were up 15. This one definitely could have won this game. So there was a couple games that we were super close. We ended up not getting, but that's just the nature of the beast. So let's go to week 2. We've got some new picks to go through. So I'm going to go through everything we got. My picks that I've made. So I don't want to get spoilers. I just kind of spoiled it on the screen. But Washington versus the Packers. The Packers are only 3.5 point favorites. If this wasn't on Thursday, I would say this is the easiest line ever. You just take the Packers. They look amazing. Commanders look okay, but at the Packers in Lambeau, the problem is Thursday night games, from my experience, it's a complete crapshoot. You just don't know. So I've got Green Bay, and I think that they're a much better team than the Commanders. I think the Commanders are still pretty good, but compared to the Packers look like one of the best teams in the NFL in the first week. So I'm on Packers, but Thursday, we'll see what happens. 3.5, you got the hook there, so field goal doesn't win it for you. So it's going to be interesting. Rams Titans. I'm actually going with my Titans. And why am I going with my Titans? First of all, they have the game at home. 5.5 is a ton. I mean, you can lose by 4, 5, a field goal. You're covering all of that. And the Rams didn't exactly go crazy with offense, and our defense looked pretty solid against Denver. Forced 4 turnovers. Very strong. Well, 3. I guess one was special teams. And then a stopped on down. So basically 4. I think the defense is pretty good for the Titans. It's at home. I think Cam Ward's he's got to get more help this week, right? Surely somebody's going to catch a pass that's right in their hands this week. I could see this being like, oh, the Rams just go crazy and dominate. But I honestly feel like this is like a Rams by 3 kind of game, and I think the Titans cover. So I'm going to go with Titans. It's a homer pick a little bit, but I think they are a little bit tough on defense, and I'm not sure the Rams offense is really that great right now. Stafford's still a little banged up. So Jaguars, Bengals. So this was a really tough one to pick because the Bengals looked horrible, but their offense should, in theory, be good. And usually it does ramp up throughout the season. Now, will it ramp up by week 2? I'm not sure that it will, but I absolutely hate picking Jacksonville. I did it a lot last year where I'm like, Jacksonville, yeah, this is their moment. And they always disappointed me, especially when it was plus 3.5. I feel like they were plus 3.5 100 times last year. They never, ever covered. They just lose by 14 or something. So because it's away, I'm not picking Jacksonville. I'm going with the Bengals. I'm hoping this is the week they get it figured out. Jamar Chase, please do not get 3 points in fantasy again this week. That would be great, unless you're playing against me in another league. That would be awesome. So I'm expecting them to be better. So Bengals, Giants, Cowboys. The Cowboys actually played pretty well in that Eagles game. It's a super weird game because like the lightning killed the rhythm. Their defense was getting run over though. That's the worrisome part. It did come back a little better, after the lightning delay, but that's almost, you got to throw that out. That's almost like a fake game because it was an hour and 30-minute delay or whatever. So everybody was kind of like, let's just get this game over with. So I don't feel good about the Cowboys defense, but the Giants, they have Russell Wilson and they scored like 6 points. So is there anything we need to worry about on offense? I think that the Cowboys can cover this at home. The offense is going to be better. CeeDee Lamb's not going to drop so many passes, please, for my fantasy team. I have a lot of fantasy teams, so I have everyone on my team. So that's why I'm hoping for everybody to be good. I'm going to go Cowboys. Lions, Bears. This seems like it would be like Lions, but the Bears looked so good for 3 quarters, and the Lions looked so bad. I feel like this could be like an overreact pick the Bears, which I think I'm going to do. But I also could see Detroit just figures it out. You got Gibbs running all over the place. You've got St. Brown making catches. And Caleb Williams looks horrible. I could definitely see that happening. I got hiccups now. I could definitely see that happening, but I think that the Bears look pretty stout. So I'm going to take them at plus 5.5. I just like the points here. I don't necessarily think the Bears are going to win the game, but I think that they can definitely cover. Lose by 3, 4, 5 points. Same thing. You win. Okay, Patriots, Dolphins. The Dolphins were so bad and they're favored. So what does that say about the Patriots? It's not good. It is in Miami, so it's probably going to be like 1,000,000 degrees out there. I can't pick the Dolphins after what I saw. Now, this will be the classic, like Dolphins look horrible, and then all of a sudden Tyreek Hill's out there with 300 yards. But I can't pick them. They look like they're about to go 0-17 in that first week. Getting beat that badly by the Colts and Daniel Jones is scary. So, and you never know with Tua. Every week you have to worry about Tua. Like he gets knocked out, you just have some scrub in as a backup. So I'm going to go Patriots plus 1.5. Getting any points here. I think the Patriots are not a great team, but they're an average team. I don't think the Dolphins are an average team. So I'm going to take Patriots, see what they can do on a noon game in Miami. It might be kind of tough. Okay, 49ers and Saints. I'm doing this on Wednesday because I'm going to be gone at Collecticon this week. So I wanted to get this out beforehand and have this ready. Now, the problem with that is Purdy is day-to-day. I wouldn't even know if he's going to start. So if they end up having to start Mac Jones, this becomes a completely different game because Mac Jones is awful. But the Saints are awful. They scored like 10 points. They have Spencer Rattler or whatever. So what are they going to do? The 49ers still have a defense. It's not bad. So unless it's 4.5. It's on the road 4.5, which is kind of a lot because if you give them like 1.5 or 2.5 points, it's like 7 if they're at home. So It's kind of a big difference, but the Saints are just, they're one of the worst teams. Now, the defense, maybe not that bad. And if you got Mac Jones in there, it's a toss-up. So I reserve the right to change this, to make a post and change this if Mac Jones starts. But I'm assuming Purdy's going to start. And I'm going to take San Francisco -4.5 just because they're a much better team if Purdy's playing. Bills, Jets. This is another tough one because this is in New Jersey. So we got the Jets. The Bills didn't look amazing. Yeah, it's like, oh, they had an awesome win, but they gave up 40 points and they were getting run over. Their defense looked pathetic. Derrick Henry, I mean, it wasn't even like he was running over people half time. He's just running through giant holes. Like the Bills defense looked really, really bad. And we'll kind of forget about that because they had that awesome comeback, right? And they had the big turnover, which was unusual for Derrick Henry. I'm actually going to go with the Jets here because I think that Justin Fields is going to be able to score on this defense. And while I think the Bills are going to win this game, I don't know that they're going to win by 7. That's a lot of points. So I can see with the Jets offense, how well they looked against the Pittsburgh defense. I can definitely see them putting up 25 points on this defense, 28. And if the Bills win like 31-28, it wouldn't shock me. So I'm going to go Jets +6.5 right there. Seahawks, Steelers. We are looking at Pittsburgh -2.5. Pittsburgh, way better than expected. Now, they still didn't cover 2.5 last week against the Jets. Oh, which is making me like, I originally have Pittsburgh put down, but they didn't even cover against the Jets. So the Seahawks were also, their defense looked good, but their offense did look good. This could also be like a lower scoring game. So I don't know if it's going to be another 34-32 game like it was against the Jets. I'm going to stick with my Pittsburgh pick, but I could definitely see this going both ways. This is a really tough one in my opinion. These two teams are probably pretty even. Darnold, I didn't really get to watch a ton of that game, but they only scored 13, so I'm assuming he wasn't that good. It doesn't have any of the stats on here. Sadly, Kenneth Walker didn't get a lot of carries for my Seahawks fantasy, but whatever. Browns and Ravens. Now, here's a big line. I haven't picked a lot of big favorites because I'm a little worried early in the season to pick like -6.5, all that stuff. The Ravens, I'm taking -11.5. Now, the Browns didn't look bad, but the Ravens are pissed. They just blew a 40-25 lead. They're at home. It's the Browns, who honestly aren't good. I mean, they played pretty well against the Bengals, but they're still not a good team. I think the Ravens are going to come out and win by 21 here. They're going to dominate this game. So I'm going to take Baltimore -11.5. You don't just lose that game and then flop the next game if you're a good team. And the Ravens are a good team. While they choke all the time, sadly, they always choke, they always blow it, and they did it this week. But you're not going to choke against the Browns. You're not going to be 0-2. Now, could they cover? Yeah, I mean, it's 11.5 points. Browns could cover. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Ravens are going to dominate this game. Broncos, Colts. Colts, this was the hardest one. This was honestly the hardest one because the Broncos looked terrible against the Titans, but the Titans were just worse. The Colts looked amazing against the Dolphins, and I expected them to suck this year. So I don't know. Like, are the Colts good? Are the Broncos bad? Like, are the Broncos actually good and the Titans aren't as bad as we think? Are the Dolphins just that bad? Are the Dolphins actually good and the Colts are good? I don't know. It's 1.5. It's Denver. Is favored in Indy. I have to go with the points here. At home with the points. Bo Nix is not that. He's not that guy. In my opinion, I watched him a lot in Auburn. He's a fine quarterback, but he is not a great NFL quarterback, at least right now, and especially watching him against the Titans, it was absolutely terrible. So if the Colts are anywhere close to as good as they were, now this Miami defense that they played last week is not going to be anywhere close to this Broncos defense, I would guess. But I can see them easily, I can easily see them winning by 1 point or losing by 1 point and still covering. So let's go Colts +1.5. Panthers, Cardinals, another terrible game. The Panthers are that bad that I'm just going Cardinals 6.5. I don't think the Cardinals are good, but the Panthers were horrible this week. Bryce Young, I have him in Dynasty as well. Not a good look for him. Eagles, Chiefs. The Eagles are favored at the Chiefs. I don't even know the last time this happened. This is a rare occurrence. The Chiefs are always favored at home. They lost already to the Chargers. It hurts, but I picked Philly -1.5. After how the Super Bowl win, after how the Chiefs looked in week 1, they don't have Xavier Worthy this week. They only have Hollywood Brown and old Kelsey, engaged Kelsey. I don't think engaged Kelsey. He's too busy worried about, he's getting engaged. He's got all the flowers to pick out with Taylor Swift, which I'm a Taylor Swift fan, so no hate or anything, but he just doesn't look like the same Kelsey. He didn't last year either. So it's obvious he is getting older, and Mahomes looked awesome in week 1. So I'm not going to count him out. If he pulls off a crazy Mahomes game, It wouldn't shock me completely, but I don't see how they stop the Eagles. It's just like the Super Bowl. They just run all over them. I'm going to go Eagles -1.5 at the Chiefs. Falcons, Vikings. Please. The Falcons and Vikings. This is just, I have the 12-win Falcons pick. They broke my heart in week 1, and I remembered last year them breaking my heart a million times. And the year before, when was the year they had that, the quarterback who fumbled at the 1-yard line? I think it was 2 years ago. I can't remember his name, but he was so bad. And Penix looks better than that, but I honestly, I wasn't feeling good about it, but because I made a 12 Falcons win pick, I picked them +4.5. They have to win. You can't be 0-2 and get 12 wins. So that's the only reason I'm going Falcons. I think the Vikings are actually pretty awesome. I know somebody commented that I hated the Vikings. I like the Vikings now. I have them at 7 wins. They win way more than 7 games. They have a hard schedule, like a really hard schedule. But this team's legit. JJ McCarthy, if he plays anything like he did in the fourth quarter, the team around him is really good, and they're going to get one. What's his name back from the suspension? Their wide receiver. They might win 9 or 10 games. Like, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. So honestly, I really like the Vikings here, but I'm going Falcons just for my own sanity, for my picks. I know I'm going to be disappointed because it's the Falcons. Sorry, Atlanta fan in the comments. Your team is painful to watch. But don't worry, I have the Titans, so I understand. Buccaneers, Texans. This seems way too easy to go Buccaneers +2.5. The Texans looked awful. The Buccaneers looked great. Bucks +2.5. I guess we'll find out if I'm wrong about it. It is a Monday night, but we'll see. It is away, I guess. There's that. But Stroud is just awful. Rookie year is amazing, but they figured him out. So hopefully he gets it together for my dynasty team. Chargers, Raiders, last game. It's double Monday night, by the way, as you can tell, which I love double Monday nights. Super fun. But now I go to bed a little earlier, so this 9 o'clock game might be kind of rough. Chargers, Raiders. Chargers are -3.5, and they're on the road. Now it's still in California. No. They're not in California anymore. They're in Las Vegas. So it's still a short trip, though. I went Chargers because of how good they looked against the Chiefs. The Raiders, they looked okay, but I don't know how good the Patriots are. I'm going to go Chargers. Herbert, best game I've ever seen him play. He was absolutely, he was amazing. He was dominating the Chiefs. He was hitting everybody perfectly. I hope Hampton's a little better. Fantasy things. He looked kind of explosive, but he just couldn't ever get something going. So hopefully he will look better. Brock Bowers had a great week. He's one of the best tight ends of the first week for Raiders. But yeah, I think that's all we need to say for this video. If you guys want to see more NFL, NBA, whatever content specifically you want to see, let me know in the comments. Also, if you want to make your picks and just put them in the comments, we can come back and see how you did as well. So it can be a place for you to like make your picks and then come back and see how you're doing over the year. Maybe you can beat me. I'm 7-7 right now, so I'm not doing that great. I'm excited. Week 2 is going to be fun. I'm not really going to get to watch the Sunday games, unfortunately, but I'll see Thursday and I'll see Monday, I hope. So my picks next week might be a little less informed, but I'm excited. Let's see what we can do. Thank you guys for watching Ruxin Sports, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next week. I'm going to try to do this every week next week. Peace.